And welcome everybody to our YouTube exclusive video about space weather, going in depth as we do on the regs at the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. Let's get to the Geospace Magnetosphere Movie. This is the last 4 hours of magnetohydrodynamic pressure modeled by the Space Weather Modeling Framework. The scale it's showing you here is nanopascals, which is, indeed, magnetohydrodynamic pressure. We are expecting some coronal hole high-speed streams. NOAA is expecting a coronal mass ejection strike, causing geomagnetic unrest late today and early into tomorrow, maybe even a minor geomagnetic storm. KP index currently only at 2. It's geomagnetic calm conditions around planet Earth. The GOES magnetometers have seen some divergences here, as Earth has recently entered a new current sheet. Yes. So we'll show you that next. That's the GOES magnetometers over the past 3 days. Actually, first ground magnetic perturbations. We showed you Earth's magnetic moment from space. Here's Earth's magnetic moment from the ground. Geospace Magnetosphere Movie. It's ground magnetic perturbations. Geospace delta B changes to Earth's B field in magnetic flux density or nanotesla over the past 4 hours. We'll let that play through. Take a moment to press like, subscribe, and share. Apparently, we need your assistance to get the videos onto screens, as the algorithms seem a bit unfriendly. Again, that's 4 hours of Space Weather Modeling Framework ground magnetic perturbations, courtesy of University of Michigan. Next, the real-time solar wind. We've seen a recent uptick in the speed here. I would expect to see another density spike. So the density did make it up over 20 protons per cubic centimeter, as we reported at smashandmash.com/smashteam. I would expect another density spike here. This could actually be the coronal mass ejection strike. It could be inside of a high-density pre-coronal hole high-speed stream density wave. What we'll have to do is just keep watching, see what happens next. Currently, the solar wind speed a little bit elevated here. It looks like a coronal hole high-speed stream a bit. It's at 519 kilometers per second. Solar wind density here, 12 3/4 protons per cubic centimeter. There was also an uptick in the plasma temperature in the past few hours, as you can see in this bottom green pane here. And let's continue on. So here's the heliospheric current sheet. Earth is now in a South Pole current sheet, having been in a North Pole one for a rather extended period here. And we are seeing a bit of a magnetic tug-of-war in the east, as there's quite a bit of activity in the east and not so much in the west. Keep in mind the magnetic environment can suddenly change with basically no warning, and that this data is about an hour and a half old from when we recorded the video. Here's a line of sight view. You can see that South Pole current sheet on your left, North Pole current sheet shown in green there on your right, solar magnetogram in the middle. And next to line of sight coronal hole plot, we've got some South Pole oriented coronal holes rotating in here. This one down in the southeast is quite well defined, and we'll be watching that as it is blasting out protons. It's essentially a cosmic ray source. Here's a close-up of it, as well as the new rising sunspot that's going to be called Sunspot 2976, most likely. And let us know in the comments if you heard it here first, as solar forecasting is a bit challenging. Here's a full disk view in the same wavelength. That's 193 angstroms, by the way. You can see those North Pole-oriented coronal holes rotating out of the earthly zone, and at least one well-defined South Pole one rotating in. I think there may be more hiding under a bunch of bumpy plasma over here. We'll have to wait and see. Don't worry, we'll make a video tomorrow all about it. Next, moving to sunspots. Likelihood of major flares is quite high. We've got a massive series of sunspots up here. I think it's going to be called Sunspot 2978. This new one down here, as this one up here is going to be known as 2977. That's a beta class sunspot also, at least when we did show prep. So again, the likelihood of major flares way up here. All the way up to 74% there for likelihood of flares. Possibility of M-class flares making it all the way up to 23% there, 24%. So keep an eye on solar flares. Again, we've got a new sunspot having formed right up here. Actually, it's over here. You'll see some umbrae form right at the end, rather spontaneously right there. That's already a beta class sunspot. That's going to be 2977. So major sunspots there. We see a light bridge forming here across the major umbra of sunspot 2975 also. Usually an indication that it is decaying. Just fantastic imagery there from the SDO. So here's the southern hemisphere. You see sunspot 2974 just moving off of the frame over here on your right. Sunspot 2977, I believe it's going to be called, rising down here. Looks like an alpha class sunspot so far. Let us know in the comments if you think it's going to be a beta class. So far we only see one magnetic field. Here's a full disk view in that same wavelength. Extreme ultraviolet, 1700 angstroms from the Solar Dynamics Observatory. Ah, yes. Welcome to the best imagery and in-depth coverage of solar activity on the internet. Please support the content by becoming a member at the Smash team at the bronze, silver, gold, or gold paid-up annual subscription level. Welcome to the Neo-Renaissance. Did you know we're in the process of writing a paper to plausibly explain the mechanism underlying the solar sunspot and solar polar field reversal cycles? We're running a little bit late on that, as we ran into some technical difficulties. But those aren't science difficulties. Those are simply in the creation of the paper. So hit up the homepage at smashomash.com. You can find links below the video. Press like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Tell your friends and foes about us. I don't think the algorithms are doing it for some reason. Thanks for putting up with the pathetic censorship on the platform. Also, check us out on BitChute. There's exclusive content daily going up on BitChute. If you see videos here that you've never seen before, it's because there are exclusives. And look at how many views we're getting. Nearly 2,000 views a day on BitChute. Less than 200 per day on YouTube. Thanks to our Twitch subscribers. We've been putting up live streams on Twitch regularly as well. Twitch.tv/SmashoMash. The ultimate live streaming space weather platform. Download the mobile app. It'll actually notify you when we go live. And also make sure you follow us on Twitter if you haven't. Twitter.com/SmashoMash. All kinds of links and stuff you won't see anyplace else. So check that out. And here's a little additional teaser. If you like Patreon, you'll probably like smashomash.com/SmashTeam even more. Thanks to our patrons who've been patrons over the years. Thanks especially to Smash Team members. Smashomash.com/SmashTeam. Support us that way by sending us a couple bucks per month, increasing the probability these videos will continue to exist and remain publicly visible. Now we'll move into the realm of solar flares. We did see a minor C-class flare happen here while we did show prep. That was a C2.4. Peak flux there right around 11 o'clock universal time. It didn't cause any relativistic particles to make it to Earth. There are the GOES proton flux measurements by the GOES 16. Next, the solar system forecast. Here's where things are now. There's where they'll be in a week. We'll have a crescent waxing by April 3rd. Next, a star chart. We've put in the yellow line here. That's the ecliptic, the path the sun will take across the sky. The blue line is the galactic plane. If you're up before dawn, you may see a massive planetary pileup featuring Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, and Venus rising ahead of the sun. Also the moon visible here over Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. That's in-the-sky.org. Shout out to the creators of that website. Drop us a line. We'll feature you on the channel. And we'll close out this video with some coronal mass ejection coverage. We don't see any earthly directed coronal mass ejections, but there is one on the far side. It's pretty minor. It is somewhat oriented towards stereo A. We also see Mercury there on both coronagraphs. The stereo A coronagraph is located out here at Lagrangian 0.5. And the Soho-Lascaux C3 is located here at Lagrange 0.1. That's where we'll end today's daily space weather video. Again, make sure you check us out on our other sites. We post all of the videos on the Smash Team website under the Posts section. So that's a place to know what content we've put out. Who knows? Maybe you'll actually be able to see the videos. We appreciate you tuning in. Congratulations on realizing we exist. And may that solar wind be at your back.